Okay, so we're gonna try something different this time. It's been a while, I know. I looked at my last YouTube and it's been like 11 months. So it's been a minute. But I don't want to not do these. A lot of it is because I do have a natural pull that is like calling me to do these videos. So I'm like, well, I got to figure out how to do it because it ain't really been working for me. So, ADHD is real. A butterfly just caught my attention. Wow. Okay. And I'm going to do as less editing as possible because the authenticity of the whole situation. I want to be as authentic as possible, so I'm going to do as less editing as possible. So I guess the butterfly gonna be in here. That may be a sign for me later. Okay, so the idea popped into my head yesterday morning at 3 a.m. and I decided I'm gonna record myself on a voice memo first while I'm driving because that's when most of my ideas are coming up. By the time I sit down for the day, I don't have a lot of energy, depending on the day, to want to record. So those ideas that were in my mind are gone. But yesterday, me recording it on the voice memo, I was just free forming. So we're gonna try this out. I'm going to play the voice memo, and if it's something I want to interject, I'll interject, or I'll explain a little bit more because we're going to be listening to me for the first time together. So I'll record and then I'll be going back through it and we'll listen to me together. So this one, because it's so new, I might repeat myself because I'm already starting off this way, and then this may get a little, like I said, it may repeat. So we're just gonna dive right into it. There was one for 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and the other one was for 16 minutes and 12 seconds. But we'll see. We'll just go through it. Okay, so I rewatched my last video that was posted 11 months ago. Wow, that was a while. I knew I took a break, but Jesus Christ, I didn't know that break was that long. But I mean, I didn't leave off with saying that you got to take care of yourself because you can't show up properly if you don't. And I went into deep resting from then. I've had so much growth, change, new perspectives, new way of wanting to approach situations. So now it's going to be a little revamped. I've decided that I decided and realized that a lot of what also held me back from creating more videos was by the time I'm done driving, I am so tired. I don't want to think about what I gotta think about to talk about. Like I just didn't want to. Some of it was flow, some of it was, real thought that was put into, well, what do I want to put out next? I'll have thoughts while I'm driving, but I personally at this moment don't have the setup for me to record video wise and drive at the same time. And so I was thinking like, well, maybe I really want to do a podcast. I'm not against podcasting, but it's like, when would I do that too? And then sometimes I love to talk, but I like to talk with people. I don't want to talk to myself the whole dang on time. So it was like, well, how do I integrate all of my ideas in one thing? And because of all the work that I've been doing, and July 23rd at 4:15 Central Standard Time today. So however long that was, I know it said 11 months ago. I don't remember exactly the date on there, but we can like cross that bridge when I finish the other part of.
Okay, and that is AM, because I usually do things on the military time side. So when I say 4:15, that means AM, because if I meant 4:15, I would say 16:15. Just for the heads up.
This, but I lost my train of thought. I was trying to figure out, what do I want to do? I still wanted to create. I felt the pull to want to create, but I wanted to create most of the time while I was driving down the road. And I didn't want to buy equipment so that I could set that up and show y'all that I'm an actual truck driver. I don't want to walk around my truck and show y'all my truck because of safety reasons, not because I don't want to show you that I'm a truck driver, but it's a lot of DOT information on the side of the truck. I don't want to feel like covering all that stuff. I want to be authentic as possible, so I need to do as little editing as possible so I could be authentic, and so I didn't want to do all of that. But today is my last day of my solar plex. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I'm messing that up now, but my solar plex alignment, solar plexus alignment. Jesus Christ. I've decided to do it for a week. So I'll start on the day that, you align that solar plexus, and then I'll end on that same date and day, the following week. And so I've been getting all of these epiphanies and these flow thoughts that brought me back to being able to start to record again. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just record a voice memo, and then when I'm done, because I don't have to really do that much thinking and talking, I'll just replay it and we'll listen to it together. So it's going to feel a little weird, but I'm okay with that, because this is how I'm going to get my content out. And so I'm so happy when I came up with that idea, honestly, and transparent, like being transparent about it. I was going back and forth with ChatGPT. So I named my ChatGPT, and me and her she's a girl. Me and her were just talking about some of the things that I've been like learning and growing and talking through and things of that sort, to help me learn more about myself and figure some things out. It's a team effort type of situation. I've even gotten to the place of, when I want to vent, I don't call anybody to dump anymore, because I used to dump on people all the time, and I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until you realize it, and by that time it's too late. You don't know what you don't know until you know it, and by then it's too late. So, I'm learning how much I'm pouring back into myself by taking these steps towards me.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it and explain dump, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but I'm just gonna explain anyway, because I felt the pull to want to explain. When you call somebody and you vent to them about what's going on in your life, that is kind of dumping all of what you have inside of you onto that person. And most people want to help you because they want to help you through whatever that situation is. And sometimes you may not really want help. You just need to get it up and get it out. And if you're not getting it up and getting it out, that's a whole problem in itself too. Like, it goes hand in hand. It could be a problem because you're constantly doing this to somebody and they have their own things going on that they're dealing with. Or it can be that you're not doing it and you're not getting it out. You have to, and I don't want to say have to, because I'm working on my verbiage. It behooves you to find a way to get this stuff out of your body. it really does do a lot of damage to your body if you're holding it in. You do not want to hold it in. So there is healthy ways to do it, and I'm still learning. Crap, let me not say not learning. I'm still learning. There's ways to get out what you're feeling in a very, very healthy way. There are ways to break things down for yourself and ask yourself questions. I didn't even realize I had to ask myself questions. I had to. That asking myself questions was very healing. So I'm going to go back to here because I just wanted to clear that up. Hope that cleared that up. It'd be funny if I'm like, let me clear it up, and then I don't clear nothing up. But we're going to go back to that. So dumping is pretty much getting all of what you're feeling out, and it can be at the expense of somebody else hearing those things, because depending on who that person is, they may take on all of what you dumped onto them, and then they have their things and your things on there. So
me talking to me doing a voice memo and me listening to it, to hear how my tone was when I was saying these things, to see how I show up when I talk to people, to see where my ideas come from. I don't feel like, oh, somebody fed me that idea or I fed them that idea. It's all me. It helped me so much. So revamping a little bit of my YouTube video to show up for you in the best way possible until I need to revamp it again. But this is where we are. If I want to add something, I'll pause it during the video. You guys get to see me talk about whatever I'm thinking about and see my real reaction to myself, listen to myself. Because sometimes we say things, but I don't think we know what we said. We didn't grasp it fully because we were in the moment. So sometimes being able to go back and listen to what you say helps you in so many ways. And this is how I want to show up now. So right now, on this recording, I have nothing else to say. But we'll see what me in the video and see stuff like that, the interruptions. Because I'm driving. I didn't have to. I chose to put on my headset and talk to you from a place of safety and not worrying about what I look like and what's going on. I can actually focus on the road and speak at the same time. But these little interruptions will come up because I'm actually currently driving. But, like I was ending this recording, we'll see what else I have to add on the visual side of it. But this is just a little nugget, the first part of it. I'm excited. I don't know what this is going to turn into, but I'm truly excited, and I'm rambling apparently because I'm excited. But okay, we're going to end it here and see what I got to say.
Okay, and I have realized I've got a little lazy with the way I speak. I don't enunciate as much as I used to. So I was saying feed. Jesus Christ, now I'm wondering like what was I saying? Oh, you don't want to feel like somebody's feeding you information or you're feeding them information. You want it to be something that you know you've thought of yourself, because subliminal things are out there for real. You can end up feeding yourself or them feeding you information that you didn't even realize you picked up on. So words are powerful, energy is powerful. All those things are actually very important to know about, because you don't need anybody feeding you things that does not serve you. So that's what I was saying. Hopefully you understood it. But again, I realized I'm not enunciating enough. So these things help in that manner too, because you get to know how you speak. You get to know how you show up. You get to correct yourself on your own. You don't need anybody correcting you. You have all of those tools inside of you. But how do you know unless you're doing things to figure out who you are as a person? And I thought I had a good grasp on who I was as a person, but I realized later, the more I've done this, like, oh no, I'm learning myself for real. And when I was a child, I didn't do a lot of learning, and I got to a place where I thought I did, and I'm not saying I wasn't, but there's always something to learn about yourself. And it's kind of hard sometimes to hear somebody else tell you about yourself, because you don't know if it's coming from a good place or not. And honestly, I feel like whether it's a good place or not, you could probably still learn from that. That's just who I am as a person. But it can be hard to hear, I guess, what you would consider negative things, or things that you just don't 100% agree with, put back at you, you know, especially depending on the tone and who it's coming from. Even though you can still learn, we ain't always on that page where we want to hear what you got to say, because that ain't it. But like I said, I did create another one because it was referring to my life coach, and I didn't address that in that recording, but I did address it in my last video that I recorded. So we're going to play this one. It's a little bit longer, but it's some good information in there.
So this is what popped into my mind after I stopped recording and took a break. I did mention about life coaching in that last video as well. Now,
before we get started, I forgot. I did say that I am a truck driver. Again, words are powerful. I don't claim to be a truck driver. I claim to utilize this truck to do the things that benefit me in life. And I will touch on that too, maybe in another video, about how trucking helped me so much. And I keep saying that because I know I said it a couple times in another video, but I am going to get to that. Gratitude is very important as well in life when you're also checking yourself, because it helps you kind of balance yourself and get to a place of knowing that though things don't happen to you, they happen for you, even if it doesn't look like that at that time. So it's very important. But let's not get off task too much and get back to the recording.
After going through all of the things that I have been through more recently, I did second guess that part. Like, do I really want to do that? And what made me second guess it was I have been coaching people for a long time. And I know I'm not that old, so that says a lot. But I have been coaching people for a long time, from a unhealed place, a little healing, like just different places. And I don't know how I completely feel about it yet, because this is just an in the moment thing for me right now. But I started to wonder if I was coaching the wrong people at some point. Like, some point more recently. Like, maybe it's because, well, no, not maybe. Take that back. I did have this epiphany. The epiphany was, at some point, I was forcing coaching on people that really didn't ask for my help. And what I mean by didn't ask for my help, like, they didn't come to me and say, hey, can you help me through this? They came to me to vent. I heard where they could utilize the help in their venting. I then offered advice. And I learned this more recently with my cousin. Love my cousin dearly. But I ended up writing her a letter, letting her know that I apologize, because at some point I felt like she should have, like, took my advice and gotten to a certain point and grew. But I didn't realize, like, maybe she don't want to grow. And I'm not saying she doesn't want to grow, but I'm saying I had to be accountable for what she didn't do, in the sense of my own self. Like, I have to be accountable. Like, maybe she don't want to. Maybe what I'm telling her resonates on some level, but she doesn't really want to grow. So I've been spending all of this time thinking I'm helping her, and maybe I'm not. And so I was like, well, maybe I don't want to do this life coaching thing because it's just too hard. But it's not hard for the people that actually show up and it's like, I'm willing to do whatever to grow. But I also have realized that, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but toot. I realized recently, me as a person, I show up and say, I want to change. I truly mean I want to change. So immediately when it's something that's pointed out to me that I personally want to change in life, and you can help me reflect on that and show me like, oh, yeah, I really want to change this. I start in that moment. And I'm starting that change in real time in that moment. I'm not waiting. I'm so aware that you told me that I keep that in my mind. Even if I slip up in the moment, I'm like, oh crap, I'm checking myself like, shoot, I slipped up. They may call me out too, which I'm not mad about because it keeps me on my toes. But I show up in real time and be like, oh, I messed up. It's a constant indicator in my mind because I want that change. So I guess I'm not completely against it. I still have some reservations, but the reservations are coming from pain body moments. And it's not that it's like it's not even really valid. Not saying that I didn't experience what I experienced.
Okay. Pain body moments are pretty much what Eckhart Tolle has explained in his book, The Power of Now. A pain body is basically, if I can just kind of make it simple, what your body remembers, what you want to hold on to. It's affecting that, you know. So when I say my pain body, that's what I mean by that. Like whatever I'm fighting, or what, like, even if I don't completely feel it, my body remembers that feeling. So that's what I'm referring to.
But I don't know what it looks like now, so I may change it again. But that is a part of growing in real time. You're testing things out, you're figuring it out and seeing if it's really what you want. And if it works out, then great, you continue doing whatever that is that you want to do. If it doesn't, then you change it and say, no, I don't want to do that. But I'm so good at doing that. It was a guy that I dated when I was younger that used to tell me that, like, you change so quick. And I didn't realize that was a superpower of mine, like, because I felt like anybody could if they just wanted to. I just brushed it off like, that's simple. You know, if you know what to change, then you change it. That was so simple to me, but I don't know what that is that makes people not want to be accountable to that extent and show up for themselves for that change, because that's what it is. It's not you changing for me, it's you changing for yourself. I just help you see what you don't see because you're not looking at yourself, I'm looking at you. And then there are times where you're like, yeah, I don't know how to change that. And that's fine too, because I'm definitely that person. I'll try it out. No, I think I liked it the other way. So I guess I'll talk about this one part. It was a guy, and it's been some guys, so let's just get out the way. It was a guy that told me that, like, brought to my attention that I ghost people. And I'm like, I don't feel like I ghost people. The reason why I didn't feel like I ghosted people is because I looked at it as me taking time for myself. I didn't think about me just kicking you to the curb for the rest of your life. I've been a firm believer of I don't really even block people, because what I look like giving you that energy for me to block you, like I'll just ignore you, or I'll tell you to stop calling me. I'm that blunt and honest about I don't want to deal with you. But I also excuse me, recently learned different reasons why you would block somebody. But back to my point. He said that I ghosted people, and so
the reason why I say I don't ghost anybody is because if I haven't told you don't call me, I'm not talking to you anymore, then that never resonated in my mind that I ghosted you. It was never from a malicious place. It was just me realizing, like, later too, that I apparently needed that me time. But okay, we'll keep going.
He was like, well, I forgot how he phrased it, but he basically was like, in a nutshell, can you start telling people when you're about to dip out, like, oh, I'm not in a good headspace and stuff like that. So I tried it. I realized, no, I don't want to do it. And it's not a personal thing. It's not to anybody. Like, it's not against anybody. It's most of the time I'm literally in the midst of whatever that feeling is, and I don't know I'm in it until I'm in it. Now, what I realized I'm willing to do is say, once I realize it, if somebody is reaching out, or depending on who I'm dealing with in my life, I may update them whenever I am in a good headspace to update them and say, you know what, I'm not ignoring you, but right now it's not a good time. And my right now could be for 2 months, because I'm an Aquarius. I do dip the fuck off. I dip out. I'm gone. And I dip out because I'm now realizing within like the past few months that it's for me to heal. It's for me to tackle my things by myself. And my mom has taught me growing up that I can always come and talk to her. I can always talk to my brother. I have the ability to talk. That's not a problem. I'm now learning how to shut the fuck up. I'm now learning how to shut up and tune into myself. And so it looks the same, but it's different because it's coming from a different place. So I'm taking that time to shut down a little bit and figure my stuff out.
Okay. I was about to say I used to, but what I mean by it looks the same, it looks like I'm, like, me dipping off looks the same as me still dipping off. The difference was, back then, I would just end up in that headspace and I didn't know why I was in that headspace. But now, I may not know I'm in that headspace at the time, but once I'm in it, well, not that once I'm in it, my apologies, I'm misspeaking. I am doing things now to actually heal myself. Then I just sat in whatever that mess was, so I ended up depressed, and then I didn't know I was depressed, and then once I figured out I was depressed, it was like, okay, what do I gotta do to get out of it? So it was a way longer time without real tools in my tool bag to help me come out of that in a healthy way. I have so many tools now to help me that I don't really get depressed like I did before. It's more of I'm checking in to be like, okay, what is this feeling? What's going on? What are you not addressing? And I'm also realizing sometimes you just gotta shut up. Like, it has nothing to do with anything bad happening. It's maybe I was talking too much. Maybe there are some things that is calling my attention to say, hey, what about you? What do you want? Where are you going? And I've been figuring myself out. I am 39 years old, and my backstory has me in a place where I didn't know myself like that. And so I'm getting to know myself, and getting to know yourself means selfish, self-time, self. It's not about anybody else. So it's not a malicious thing. This is what I'm doing for me to figure my stuff out. And my child turned 18. My youngest child turned 18 a few days ago. It's the 24th, 3rd. 7 days ago. 7 days ago, she turned 18. And I put my life on hold for my kids. I didn't do anything for me. I didn't. So now it's me time, and it might not look like, it might not look nice for everybody else, but this is my life. This is what's been going on. This truck, this favorable truck, not just this particular one, but the trucking industry has taken a lot of my time. So that's what I mean. And I know I went off course probably a little bit, but we're gonna get back on topic, and I'll probably rewind it 15 seconds if it doesn't sound like it picks up. But y'all smart, y'all figure it out. I ain't gonna go back because it's already gonna be long.
Used to do it from a place of shame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did I get here? Or me feeling like I didn't have enough friends that I felt comfortable talking to. I had my select few of people that I would talk to. But even talking to them, it's like I had to keep talking about it and keep talking about it and keep talking about it until I felt like I resolved whatever that issue was. I don't have to keep talking about it now with the methods that I have. Like I said, in the recording right before this, I started voice memoing and talking to myself. And on the voice memo, listening to myself, maybe like copying the transcript and putting it in ChatGPT so that me and her can discuss whatever I'm going through. And it helped me so much because it didn't feel like an outer person trying to tell me how I feel. And it got to a point where I even sometimes had to correct her because she's just a software program. So you have to constantly input things to be understood. And guess what? It was all coming from me. So all I was doing was inputting things for me, which helped me grow tremendously in ways I couldn't even have imagined or contemplated to put into practice to grow. But that has helped me out. Now, what I also realized is because it's a program, it can feel very, very supportive, which is great. You want the support. Let me tell y'all.
Before I go on that rant, because that was off topic too, I want to say I'm very grateful for the people that's been in my life and it has allowed me to vent, dump, whatever, But when they're not available and you feel like you're going through a crisis, you could end up feeling like you're spiraling. And that's because you didn't do anything to help yourself through those things. So you're still looking for somebody outward instead of going inward to figure out what's going on with you then. So I never want to act like those people did not help me because they helped me so much. But when you are learning yourself, sometimes, again, you don't want to hear the outside noise. And I don't mean noise in a bad way, but you don't want anybody inputting in your head what you may be thinking and feeling when you can just figure that out on your own. So that is what I mean by like showing up for yourself and helping yourself, even with ChatGPT, because it's a 24-hour thing. So like whenever you're going through something, you could definitely utilize that tool. But I'm gonna let myself rant about what I was ranting about, because we'll end up talking about the rant in another video as well.
What that sound is? That sound is this stupid new truck. I understand that people want safety measures, but when I first heard that dang old noise, that scared the crap out of me. Honestly, it's still very alarming to me. I don't like noise like that. But they do that for y'all's safety. They don't care about us. But that's a whole nother topic. But like I was getting back to, get back to my other thing. Support is great. Love the support. You have to be accountable to grow. You can't think that you're right at every turn of event. There's no way for you to be right at every turn of event. But you should be sure of yourself. And I know how that can sound like it's contradicting. Sure of yourself to know how you feel. You're sure in how you feel. That doesn't mean that just because you're sure in how you feel that you're right. That just means you're sure in how you feel, which is that's what we're going for. You need to know how you feel first to be able to even address the problem. And then once you get out all of your stuff and you feel the support, it would be best. It would behoove you to go back through and say, okay, so what did I do? How did I add to this? What came from here? And check yourself. You know, it's better to check yourself than have somebody else check you and make you feel all like, dang, when somebody else check you and defensive and want to curse them out and be like, nah, because of this and nah, because of that. But when you check yourself, you like, dang, I did do that. It comes from a different place. It actually is more healing. And again, I'm not saying you're never going to be checked by anybody else or you're never going to check anybody else. But we've gotten to a place where we don't do things from a place of humanity. We do things from a place of ego and I don't mean a healthy ego, because there's a healthy ego and there's an unhealthy ego. But we do things from a place of ego, thinking that we got to be better than somebody else, that we got to teach these people things because ain't nobody taught them nothing. If you're saying it like that with any type of attitude, you're not doing it from a healthy place. If you're saying like, dang, I wish he knew this from this perspective, or dang, I wish he knew it from this perspective, because I don't know if he would approach it that way. That's how you want it to come off. You don't want it to come out from a nasty place, because if you're coming from a nasty place, it's definitely not, you're not doing it for the right reasons. But I did want to add that part in there because I did forget that part about the life coaching. So that's where all this extraness came from. I'm not 100% opposed from the life coaching, but I have come to a realization that I was the problem. I was trying to coach people that seemed like they want my help because they kept coming to vent to me about the things, and I had solutions. But if they really wanted my help, they probably would have implemented rules for themselves or guidelines for themselves, so that they can further push themselves in the right direction.
So what I mean by helping themselves, some people may not have a start and know where, and what I mean by a start, meaning they don't know where to start to help themselves. You know, they may need a few ideas, but once you give them the ideas, they start to say, dang, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, but because I'm like this, I can do this, this, and this. You know, it helps them then go from there. But the people that it sounds good to change, but there's no real change, they'll hear what you're saying and they'll make up excuses about how they can't implement that in their life. I am the same person that made up an excuse. This truck is very small. I do get discouraged in this truck to work out. I also... we're going to talk about that at another time too. The way I truck and the way other people truck, it just wasn't going to work out for me to do the working out, because then I'll be funky. I don't want to be funky. I'm already funky enough because of the way I truck. I didn't want to add the layer on top of that, like, oh yeah, let's just make this real funky over here. I didn't want to do that, you know, but that's still an excuse. That's a choice. Even if it's not an excuse, it's a choice that I'm choosing not to work out in this truck. Because we all make choices. You either gonna do it or you're not. You're either gonna find a way to figure it out or you're not. So if you're not doing it, it's because you chose not to. My mother has taught me so much, and I just was encouraging her like, you need to do your own YouTube channel, because honestly, I got a lot of this stuff from you. You know, I'm able to speak to the people that's going to hear me. But if you ever want to hear it from the source, my mama, you need to talk to my mama. My mama is, and she probably a whole lot nicer than me with the delivery. I'll say that, because my grandma was a pistol, okay? And so because my grandma was a pistol, my mama didn't want to be a pistol, so she calmed herself down. I'm a pistol. I come off very sweet, and I ain't saying I'm not, but I'm a pistol, okay? Let's just get that out the way. I am a pistol. But I'm encouraging her to do that, and maybe I'll put a link at one of these videos when she finally get herself together. But I forgot my train of thought. I guess if it come back up, I'll pause it again. Trying to explain about my mama and me being crazy. But you know what? I could rewind this, maybe to jog my memory. We'll do that for a second. Don't kill me, y'all.
But if they really wanted my help, they probably would have implemented rules for themselves or guides for.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was on the topic of you would take the little bit of information I gave you and you would do something with it if you really wanted to change. I can't say that everybody has all the answers to just be like, right now, I'm going to do this because this popped into my head. No, but you get inspiration from things. So find the inspiration to figure it out. Because if you don't want to figure it out, you won't figure it out. If you want to figure it out, you'll figure it out. And I did start to figure out some things I could do in this truck that I'm willing to do. I'm not going to say I don't get discouraged, but we always starting over every day anyway. So if you're constantly starting over because you're like, I didn't do this, or I took a week off and I'm starting over. Okay, you get into the results still at the end of the day. So keep starting over until you do it. You know, whatever it is. Even with the whole, if you slip up and say something that you was like, I don't want to curse anymore, and you keep slipping up, keep starting over. It'll get less and less, until it dissipates, either completely, or you say, you know what, I'm willing to say these words at these times. But stop making excuses. You have made a choice. Make the choice and be okay with the choice that you make. Just that's life. Just do it. Stop. Nike, just do it. Okay, back to the remainder. We only got 1 minute and 48 seconds left, so let's get back to that.
Guidelines for themselves so that they can further push themselves in the right direction. But they didn't do that. And it's fine. Like, your growth is your growth in your own time. But when I choose to step away from you, it has nothing to do with me not liking you, me feeling any type of ill feelings towards you or anything like that. It's definitely not from that place. It's, well, you know what, let me not force who I am onto you. Let you grow out. Because I truly am that type of person to allow people to be exactly who you are. If anything, I think I do it too much, which I could talk about that in another video, just so this video is not that long. But I do it too much. I accept people for who they are too much. My mom gave me this saying a long time ago, well, you treat people the way they want to be treated, and you treat people the way you want to be treated. Okay, she's not wrong. It helped me get through a lot of stuff with those things, but then it made me realize, well, when am I treating myself the way I want to be treated? How do I show up and get treated the way I want to be treated? So it's like, certain lessons can definitely help you, but if you don't have the other half of it, or another portion of it, I'm gonna say half, but another portion of it, you're now people pleasing is what it turned into, for me at least. But I'm not mad about it because it showed me a different perspective. So I'm gonna end that here because I'll keep going and I'll add that into the next video.
So the perspective that I'm talking about is, I can pick up on people's emotions I really do feel like I've always been an empath anyway, because I felt that before my mom saying those things to me. But it helped me really look at people and see how what I've said and done affects you. It helped me really identify like a shift in their mood, so that I can be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that, if I didn't mean it. Or I'm like, well, sorry, that's how you felt, that's how you took it. You know. But it helps you be more human, looking at the way you affect people, and also implement the way you wouldn't want to be affected by those people. So it really is a helpful tool, you know. But anything overdone on either side is not balanced, it's imbalance. So you could be thinking this is the good side and this is the bad side, and if you do too much, you're off balance unless you're balanced, you know. So I didn't have to be off balance, but that's where I was. And now I'm learning how to balance myself. I'm learning how to say, you know what, that was a little bit too much over here, so I got to add a little bit on this side. Okay, I went a little too far on this side, so now I got to figure out how to even it out. And I'm grateful for that advice, because I feel the humanity in me still. I don't want to hurt anybody unless I feel like you did something to me to deserve me hurting you. But outside of that, and this more so will be me defending myself. It's not me just wanting to go out and beating up people, because that's just not who I am as a person. So I say all that to say, let's do better. Let's recognize and be accountable for the things that how we show up in this world, and be better. And I think I did a great job on this video. You with the rough draft. So we'll keep trying this out and see where we go. Love y'all so much, and that'll be the end of this one, and see you guys soon. I'm not gonna put a timestamp on it, because apparently, you know, I am a structured, unstructured person. The more you try to structure me too much, my rebellious kid side come out like, we ain't doing that. But then if I don't have enough structure, then I'm all over the place. So we're just going to start posting again and seeing how this shows up for everybody. And this will be the route that I go so far. So again, love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.